Good morning. We are in the Colin Neblett Wildlife Management System, or in northern New Mexico, and this place is a little interesting. This time of year, you know, the leaves are changing colors and stuff. Pretty big tourist area. But we're headed in, and I'm not by myself today. So Colin Neblett is a little over 33,000 acres, which makes it one of the biggest wildlife management areas in New Mexico. And the weird thing is there's a state park that runs right through the middle of it. So the Cimmaron River State Park splits it in two. So there's a north side and a south side. And yesterday we did a little riding around on the north side, but that's pretty much it. There's a trail that goes up Toby Creek here, but I don't think you can make it on a horse. This mountain we've been riding around all day is Toby Peak, and so we start out the Toby Trailhead, and there's a Toby Creek. So all this area is Toby, and that is named after a Methodist preacher who was against violence in the 1880s, and then ironically he got murdered. So they just named a bunch of stuff after him, like this mountain, which is a little over 11,000 feet, but which is pretty tall for New Mexico. But the one that we were on yesterday was over 12,000 feet, but we didn't make it to the top. There's not a lot going on right now, so I figured I'd tell you a little bit about the history of this place. So, well, it goes way back when, to, you know, even 1700s, 1600s. The Cimmaron Canyon right here has always been a through passage to get through these mountains and, you know, traveling over to Taos and stuff like that. So when Taos was a big deal, like this was one of the main travel routes. They even started to build a train. They didn't make it all the way, but originally there was a plan to have a train go up Cimmaron Canyon, and then, well, that kind of fell through. In 1922, an investment group ran by some Dutch people built Eagles Nest, which you can see it down here. So they built a dam, and right away they built a motel and a restaurant, and so it became a tourist thing. So this whole area, as soon as that happened, became touristy. In 1936, a Tulsa oil man, I think his name was Waite Phillips, he bought the Philmont Ranch and originally donated like 35,000 acres, and then eventually he donated, I think it was 127,000 acres to the Boy Scouts. And so yesterday we were on the edge of Philmont's ranch, so the Boy Scout ranch. Today I'm pretty close to the edge of it now, but so Philmont circles this whole area. Then Game and Fish bought this. Colin Neblett's. Originally it was called the Cimmaron Canyon Wildlife Management Area, and they bought it it was just about $375,000. So it's a pretty good deal. And then from what I can tell, they're having problems managing it, and so they gave the canyon part to the state. So now it's a state park, so Cimmaron Canyon State Park. But Game and Fish still manages the north and south side. So this was about 1950. And then they changed the name to Colin Neblett's after a judge from Santa Fe that was on the Game Commission. He's on the Game Commission, I think, in the 30s. But I don't know why. Just my opinion, I guess. I think they should have kept it like the Cimmaron Wildlife Management Area or something. So I'm sure this judge was a good guy, but I couldn't really find any information on, and I've looked quite a bit. Like I've seen some people he's prosecuted and stuff, but maybe he did more for wildlife than I realized. But I think he was just kind of famous in his time, and so they named it after him. I'm sure there was some money involved, but this place it's pretty interesting. It's definitely its own place. If you're not familiar with wildlife management areas, there's a few things that you probably want to know before you come. And so there is a huge list. There's signs everywhere, so you can't mess it up. There's a huge list of things that you can and can't do. The first thing is they're walk-in only areas, even though there are roads all over them. This place is covered in logging roads. Same with other wildlife management areas. There's roads all over, walk-in only, so you can ride a bike, you can ride a horse, you can walk. But Game and Fish or anybody from the state, as long as they have a key, they can drive in. So it's not like a true wilderness area. The other thing is you're not allowed to camp here. So there's one designated campsite in Colin Neblett's, and it's by Toby Meadow. I don't know if it's officially called Toby Meadow, but that's where it is. There's not one on the north side. They want you to camp at the roads or at the trailhead. And with this particular WMA, it's in a state park. So you have to pay all the state park fees if you want to camp there. So that means a day pass, that means you have to get like RV lot or campground lot, and there's people all over the place. So you can't, even though it's public land, you can't just go camp there wherever you want. They're really strict on that. The other thing is, if you don't have a hunting or fishing license, you have to buy a special permit to be able to come in. And this particular one and most of them are closed during calving and fawning season. So this place is closed from March until the end of July. And then it is closed during hunting season, during any open hunting season. If you don't have a hunting license for that season, you're not allowed to come in. It's hunters only, which is good if you're a hunter, but that doesn't leave very much time if you're just coming to enjoy a place like this. Every couple years the topic gets brought up, should we sell federal lands and make them state land? And right now there's, Utah is always the biggest push, and they're pushing for it right now. But this is the perfect example to me of what will happen if things become state land. And Game and Fish, at least they're not selling land because it's in a trust and they can't sell it. Other state land they can, but the camping in national forest or anywhere in the forest or on BLM land, you just go do whatever you want and you're free. You come to a place like this, there's permits and regulations and special rules to follow, and I didn't cover all of them. There's a bunch of little ones. You're probably breaking the law at any given time without even knowing it. But if they made it every federal land, state land, it'd be like this everywhere. I hate it when people tell me where I can sleep and can't. I'm talking about like roll a sleeping bag out on the ground. Can't do that here.
Take a picture of that dinner tonight for two. Dinner for two.
Yeah, that's what we got. After 4 days in the Colin Neblett, what do you think?
Not many elk here, first of all. But it's beautiful, beautiful country, I'll tell you that.
No elk. We saw 2 deer, a bear, 1 elk, and a bunch of grouse, and so quite a few hunters. Anything else I missed?
No.
Pretty much it. We covered the north side or the northeast quadrant and the southwest quadrant. Pretty much covered the whole thing and didn't see much, not even very much sign. And the way we were doing it is actually, in my opinion, the best way to elk hunt. We would ride somewhere, I'd get dropped off, and then I could hike on foot because a lot of this place you can't get on horseback. And then I wouldn't have to go back, I would just have my Uber pick me up. And so it's kind of the best of both worlds. So I didn't have to deal with the horses and covered a bunch of ground, but still nothing. No bugles. Yeah, it's been pretty slow. Last time I was in here, I said I would never put in for this unit again, and I'm gonna keep with that. So if you want to put in, really good draw odds, but good luck. The other day when we were making plans on meeting up here, my dad was going to drag a trailer up and bring a couple more horses or mules, and I told him we could just get by with these 3, which would have left us, or one of us, walking, because normally it takes 2 horses to pack out an elk. So I guess that's one good thing about not finding any elk, is we don't have to walk out. But probably would have been better to walk than not see anything. We're back at the truck. Thanks for watching.